Oh, how I cannot wait to talk about this one. So here we go. Okay, the show starts as always by showing us a quick preview from last week. And who do we see first? Dale. Then a quick preview of this week, and again, Dale. Then we have our usual man convo to kind of start the show, you know? And I feel like this is usually where the producers tell them exactly what to talk about. And this one guy says that he likes when Clare came in and checked them. I was like, yeah, do it again. So he's talking about when Clare came in and basically yelled at them for not giving her enough attention. And he wanted her to come back and do it a second time. Could be a fetish. And then Yosef is calling out Clare for her red flags. Who's calling out Clare for red flags? Yosef. You want to talk about red flags? But he's like really butthurt about this naked dodgeball thing. And he says, she's showing me traits of her character and her maturity level. If you hate it that much, then just get out. Tell her you don't think that the two of you are right for each other. But no, he's on a power trip or something and needs to just establish his dominance over Clare. And Riley is talking to him, like trying to advise him, hey, don't do anything stupid, okay? But Yosef doesn't care what these guys have to say. So we're in for some entertainment. So Yosef is on the hunt for Clare. And he comes and interrupts her talking to this guy with a stuffed animal. Like a little stuffed lion, the poor guy. It was probably a really sentimental conversation. But Yosef takes over. And he starts with, hey, just hear me out. This is important for later. So he goes on to tell Clare that he's been concerned about some things. And the first red flag, which he says directly to her, is that, things were going well, but then you came out and told us that we're here for you, but you're supposed to be here for us too. I agree. Okay. And then somewhere in the mix, he brings up his daughter, like how he's sacrificing time for his daughter. And Clare it tries to relate in some aspect and brings up her dying mother. And Yosef says, no, I'm still talking. If I were Clare, I would have lost it at that point. But no, she cools herself down. Yosef keeps talking. And he goes ahead and brings up his second red flag. This one is him being absolutely appalled. I'm sorry, I'm doing this a lot. Absolutely appalled by the naked dodgeball. Says it's humiliating and degrading, and how does that play into finding a husband? Well, I can think of a few different reasons. I'm just kidding. And now at this point, he just keeps yapping, so Clare is getting pissed. And she says to him, that's why you weren't on that date, Yosef. And he responds with, oh, I'm glad I wasn't. Just in this one conversation, he is just displaying all kinds of abusive behavior. He's one of those guys, I'm telling you, that needs to be the big man. I've actually heard that there were some people that were siding with Yosef on this, which is absolutely fine, like if you agree with his perspective on that. But the amount of disrespect he had towards Clare in this conversation was like ridiculous. From the start, he came out attacking her, dissing her, like talking down to her. Some people don't know how to have a conversation. Express your views, why you disagreed with what she did, and leave it at that. No, he's got to be Mr. Tough Guy. I can't stand when people are like this. Just have a conversation. But no, he won't even let her talk. And then so this is where Clare blows up and like gets in his face. She's like pointing at him and scolding him. And then she throws him the Juan Pablo line. And he throws the same line back at her. She's like, I would never want my children to have a father like you. You're not fit to be the mother of my child. I am 89% team Clare here. Who comes in and says, I just want you to hear me out. And then goes on to like throw punches. Listen to me. No, really, please just listen to me degrade you, and please don't talk until I'm totally finished. I also want to add as a side note, not exactly the same thing, but if anybody remembers, okay, so there was like a big deal made about how like if The Bachelor did this with women, like a strip dodgeball thing, yeah, that would be insane. But Ben Flajnik did a group date where all the women had to ski in bikinis. No, their butts aren't necessarily showing, but I can tell you right now, if I was skiing in a bikini, I would end up much more exposed than those boys did on playing dodgeball. It was a long time ago, but I don't remember Ben getting any flack for that. But anyway, Claire's kicking out Yosef. And here is where we get the I expected more from the oldest bachelorette. Followed by, that's why I didn't settle for men like that. It's the last time probably you'll see it, except for the previews for next week. Preview recap. Also, my prediction was right. Did I not say it'd be at the beginning of the episode? Because it happened at around 8:19 p.m. And now Claire's crying and all the guys come to Claire's defense. But who actually like physically comes to her defense? I'll give you one guess. Jason. No, I'm just kidding. Dale. Now let's add Yosef to Claire's long list of bad men she's dated. Dale does a good consoling job though, I think. But I gotta wonder, like, what are the other guys doing? Like, what are they thinking? This could potentially be your future wife. Don't you want to like somehow stick yourself in there to at least say that you consoled her during a really traumatic experience? Otherwise you have to be like, oh yeah, I watched you that one time you were really, really upset and some other guy helped you out. Love you. In any event like this will be followed by a Chris Harrison therapy session. And as she's in tears, she's saying, there's someone in that room that will never let me have to face something like that alone. And Chris is like trying to avoid it. He's like, yeah, you're one of those men. You're going to find your husband in there, Claire. And then he's like, oh, crap. You already found him, huh? And Claire's like, yeah. Her mind is made the F up. Why are we still here? Claire, of course, doesn't want a cocktail party after that. No cocktail party? Weird. Never heard that one before. So she comes out to talk to the guys and she's crying and apologizing. It's like, I'm sorry, I just don't want to talk to anybody right now. And this is where the guys get their chance to pull a Dale. Like, oh, hey, Claire, we got you. Yeah, you know, we got your back. Love you, Claire. But she doesn't want to talk to anyone. So everyone's upset. And Yosef ruined another cocktail party. If only these guys knew how useless it is to talk to her anyway. So we get to the rose ceremony. She starts with an apology, how she didn't get to talk to some of you guys. Sorry about that. So basically, same thing as last week. I can't remember. Someone on this franchise has to do something about the cocktail parties because they just don't work out. So she starts handing out roses. Dale gets the first rose, no shocker there. A bunch of other roses get handed out, and we are left with 3 people who go home. Unfortunately, I don't remember any of their names. I know you guys are probably real people with real genuine hearts. I'm not trying to be cruel, but I don't know who you are. It seems we don't have any villains left. Yosef is gone, so now we're just chilling. And it's the next day, and Chris comes out to talk to the guys and talks about how crazy the last night was and how this show will expose you, and it clearly exposed Yosef. And the irony there is he didn't want to get exposed on the dodgeball date. So we find out all the guys are getting dates this week, and we get our first group date card. I have a little bit too much energy right now. Okay, group date card. Dale and Jason are both on it. Another group date for Dale, but as we can recall, Claire just needs to see Dale ASAP. Doesn't matter how, when, or where, just needs to happen. And the date card reads, today we separate the men from the boys. And if you ask me, that would have been a more appropriate card for naked dodgeball. I'm just kidding. Again, I'm just kidding. But before the group date, Deanna comes in to talk to her, ex-Bachelorette Deanna. They always do something like this. There's always got to be something. I didn't even know they were friends. Maybe they're not, but somebody's got to come in to mentor Claire. And this is just a basic conversation about love, and Claire is swooning over Dale. If any of the other guys ever watched this show back and like ended up with her, it would never work out. Then Claire and Deanna, I think I might have missed the key detail here, but I think they start smelling Dale's pants. I don't know. But Claire is like laying on the couch with a crotch of men's pants on her face. They continue with their talk of fairy tale love, and Claire says, oh, this might be the shortest season ever. Yes, it would be if it weren't for Tasia. Then sometime later, Claire comes out and she talks to the guys and she's like, hey, you know what? Actually, I'm not really feeling the date. Why don't we just like jump right into the cocktail hour, because conversation is the most important thing. That's really what I want to do. Claire, stop lying. You unintentionally missed the group date because you were yapping with Deanna. I don't think we even found out what they were going to end up doing on that date, which is disappointing. That's the entertainment for us. So we get to the cocktail party and she's wearing like a really nice outfit again. She's got a great stylist. And right at the beginning of this, here's where things really start to build up. Dale makes a speech to everyone saying like, hey guys, I'm sorry, I know you didn't get a lot of time with her. Please forgive me because I've had a lot of time. But I'm going to steal Claire. Just for 5 minutes. But hey, group hug. And the guys are not impressed, and neither was I. And so Dale steals her away, and they go into some private room, which we find out after was her bedroom, I think. And they're talking, and they were having a good talk. Then they decide to cuddle on the bed. And they're laying there face to face, and Claire says, am I the big spoon right now? That's not It's not spooning. And then they make out for a very long time. Meanwhile, Zach J gets the one-on-one, and his date card says, I'm looking for my best friend. And he's pumped for it. I was kind of excited for him. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, is this date really even going to happen? I don't know if we're going to get that far. But back to the group date. Dale clearly took more than 5 minutes. Somebody even said he was gone for an hour. So Easy's like, all right, that's enough. I'm going to go find these rabbits. And he does. Knocks on the door. Claire basically has to get dressed and then answers. Easy asks Dale if he can steal her, and Dale's like, oh, yeah, we were just having a conversation. And Easy gives her a big hug, and I'm like, at this point, Claire definitely smells exactly like that pair of Dale's pants. Then I almost think we see a little behind the scenes clip of Claire saying, like, can we hurry this along? She was talking to a producer, maybe, I think. Maybe I interpreted it wrong. It seemed like she was trying to get through everybody. And maybe like get through the season. Then, oh my God. Dale accidentally roams into one of the rooms that Claire is in, talking to somebody else. He acts like he didn't mean to do it, and then he acts like he's going to be respectful and walk away, but he's like super slow about it, like, And Claire's like, oh, hey, do you want to steal me? Steal me. Please steal me, Dale. It was a little more sly than that, like, hey, you want to? Claire made the decision to end the talk with the other guy. And I kind of truthfully feel like they had it planned. They were like Bonnie and Clyde. Like, hey, I'm going to go talk to this guy and make sure, just come back and steal me so we can make out again. So he steals her and they're making out again. But he gets intentionally interrupted by Chasen, who has had enough of this. So if Chasen actually wanted to talk to Claire, I'm not sure. Might have been more that he was just looking to crap all over Dale. But he comes in and he steals Claire, and then Dale goes out to talk to all the guys. And the guys are letting him have it. Not in like a crazy way, but they are expressing their disapproval. Dale's defense is that he was trying to find the bathroom, so he claims, which could be possible. I can't figure out who's right or wrong here, so I don't want to label him like a giant liar, but I understand the guy's frustration. I just wish I could tell them all it's not worth your time. And then Dale gets the rose. Guys, get out right now. They're all back at the resort, lumped together in a tiny room like they always are. People are still mad about Dale. And Dale's defending himself again and says, it's just that I was the best suited. And Jason's like, oh, go ahead. Best suited, actually. Oh, go ahead. Best suited for what? He like was looking down at the floor the whole time for some reason. He was apparently the best suited guy to talk to Claire for the things that she was going through. I think he misspoke, or maybe he didn't. I don't know. Either way, this made Jason extra mad. He was laughing, but it was like a mad laugh, like almost kind of going crazy. And he tells the camera, I don't get like this. I'm not emotional. Well, Jason, that was before you wrote yourself a letter to your younger self. The Pandora's box has been opened. Then the previews come and I find out we actually are going to have a one-on-one, so I was wrong about that. I didn't think we'd make it there, but Zach J, the cleaning company owner, is going to get his feet cleaned. But before that, they're interviewing Claire again, and she's talking about Dale again and how she was ready to game on in that bed with him. Claire, did you not learn from your past mistake in the ocean? It's bad luck. Stop it. Now we go to the spa day and they're getting pedicures, and this was really funny because Zach is like super ticklish and I related to this hard. And it was funny. Claire was having fun with him, but I almost felt like this date was just all about Claire. She's probably like, if I had to pick a date that wasn't going to involve Dale, what would I do? Oh, spa day. It's sideline over to a clip of the guys in the pool, and we find out that there's a rumor going around that Claire and Dale knew each other to an extent before the show. I don't think that they met, but had like conversed potentially over social media, maybe something along those lines. But I mean, the guys were revealed long before they ever even made it to the resort. So I'm sure she knew who Dale was. I'm sure she looked him up, and she probably had some like preconceived ideas about Dale before he even walked out of that limo. So don't tell me it was love at first sight. You were waiting for him to come out. Now back to Claire and Zach. They're in the pool and things seem to be fine. She doesn't look that interested, but she's like, hey, let's get out. Let's get ready for dinner. And I guess she leans in to kiss him, and he apparently doesn't give her what she wanted in terms of like leaning in, like the depth. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like super offended by this. And Zach's like, hey, no, wait, what? Like, no, come on. I wanted to kiss you. And she's like, no, that's fine. It's fine. And he's like trying to grab her back and she's pulling away. And Zach is super confused. And honestly, me too, man. Claire goes back to her room and she's crying and cuddling with her dogs. And then she says that he scared her. I am just so confused by this woman. I feel like she's got a lot of insecurities and they just bubble up to the surface anytime anyone does not show her that they absolutely adore her. I don't want to judge her. I know that your past can cause triggers, and I don't know her past besides the whole season of Juan Pablo and Winter Games and whatever else she was on. But holy cow, man. Like, what's going on here? Then poor Zach, oh my gosh, he's sitting there at the table waiting for her for dinner, which never happens. They always meet up first and then go to the table together, but he's sitting there alone, and Clare never comes out. Chris comes out and he dumps Zach for Clare. Like, at least come out and say bye to him. Explain to him, like, hey, this is why it's not going to work out. I'm sorry. It's time for you to leave. She could not even face him for some reason. I am bewildered by her. And then it gets worse again. So now we go to our last group date. And this is a comedy club theme, and they're going to do a roast, and this is a recycled date, but whatever, it's fine. And there's a live audience. Obviously, they can't bring people in, I'm assuming, so they're using just all the guys that aren't on the date. They're the live audience. And I'm just going to guess that this was Clare's idea because it's just like, must see Dale. Boy, did that backfire. But the main roasts that we see, obviously, are from the guys, and pretty much they're all about Dale, or at least that is what the show wants us to think, is that it's all about Dale. And the edits on the show make it seem like Clare is really not enjoying this, which probably was true. But I think they reused the same exact clip of her multiple times, unless she was like glued in that pose. And I think Clare assumes that all the guys are just jealous of her relationship with Dale, which it's definitely possible since you don't see any conflict with Dale up until now. You know, they all got along fine in the first 2 episodes. But he also came in and stole Clare for like the whole night, which again, they could just be bashing on him for all that because they're jealous. But in their defense, it's pretty unfair. If you're going to come on The Bachelorette, you should probably give each man an equal opportunity. Otherwise, it's unfair. But now we're at the cocktail party, and this is Clare's opportunity to pull each man aside to get a little bit more info about why they roasted in the way that they did. And she pulls Bennett aside first, who did the most roasting on Dale. So of course, that's who she wants to talk to. And Bennett is like, hey, I just spent a lot of time talking about Dale. Can we maybe talk about something else? And Clare basically is like, no. And she continues to ask every single guy about Dale and what they said about Dale. You said you were going to mine in Dale's wedding or something like that? Was that your comment or was that his? Basically, this is 6th grade and Clare is trying to find out if the boy that she likes her back. And she's like all in waiting for a response from these guys. I've never seen her so interested in a conversation. I think she was like trying to play it cool, but it wasn't coming off as cool. I've been talking like this a lot, and I think it's just what Clare does to me. But it just continues with talking to the guys about their shots at Dale. And I'm not sure if she's actually concerned about what they're saying at this point, or if she just wants to talk about Dale. I'm like getting sick of saying the word Dale, or the name Dale. It's like the more I say it, the more I don't like it. Dale, Dale, Dale. And now I think some of the guys are starting to realize they're wasting their time here and that Dale and Clare are basically already in a relationship. So what's the point? Bennett's not ready to jump on that train, though. He thinks it's too early, which is funny, though, because he was trying not to talk about Dale and Clare wanted to talk about Dale. So that, anyway, I think that's the exact point, though. It's too early. It's too early to make a pick like that. And she made the pick. And so the rose comes out and it goes to nobody because she didn't get what she needed from the guys tonight. Why can't anyone tell me what Dale is saying about me? I think my maturity level goes down as I do these recaps. There are 4 minutes until the show ends. 1 rose has been given out all week, and it is with Dale. Nobody else has a rose. And then behind the scenes, she says that she can't stand these guys roasting her, quote, fiance. These poor guys, they get put on this date by no choice of their own. They do what the Bachelorette tells them to do, and you don't like that they did what you wanted them to do? Can someone bring out Tasia, please? Then the previews. Claire's talking to Chris. Chris tells her she blew up the Bachelorette. We've seen this scene. Guys say Claire's gone, and they're all confused, but really she probably like stepped outside the resort for half of a second. Then emerging from the sparkling pool of light appears Tasia. That entrance couldn't have been any cheesier. But is my prediction right? Is Claire's last half episode next week? Guys, I'm just nailing it this season. That's all there is to it. And it's great because I made awful predictions last season. How is the Men Tell All show going to work this year? Okay, well, thanks for watching. I should be back next week. Next week's kind of like a doozy because we got the show's on Thursday and it's election week and I'm not actually going to be here. So no guarantees, but I will try my best. Thanks again for watching and I will see you guys next time.